Hey everybody, what's going on? This is TwoHeadedFlounder. Welcome back to some more post-rotation deck profiles. Today, we are going to look at a deck that I thought I was being very original about and coming up with my own, and then before making this video, I looked it up and saw that people have actually made this as a list, but they're playing it a little differently, but still, it hurts a little. I know, I thought I was being super creative and having fun, and then somebody beat me to it. It hurts. But anyway, we are going to be looking at Lost March. So when rotation happens, we lose double colorless energy, which means Natu is not really a good attacker anymore. So unfortunately, Lost March is being pretty crippled, and I think that there is definitely still ways to play Lost March. And honestly, the deck list I saw, I'll even leave a link in the description. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty solid list. I would honestly personally run it after rotation happens because it looks like it'd be fun. However, this is a different take on that. This is a Lost March deck that is pretty much just really trying to get Buzzwole Pheramosa to work, and I like that a lot. So this is an interesting card. It's a 260 HP basic tag team. It's got a double colorless retreat cost, which is actually pretty low. I would honestly think this have like 3 or 4, but who knows. Jet Punch, 30 damage to the active, 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench. It just is a nice way to soften them up, and honestly this works really well with Lost March. You can start applying the damage, they get a knockout on this, they take 3 prizes, you don't put another one down, you can just use Lost March and just start picking things off, and they have to knock out 3 jump bluff, which sometimes is very annoying. Then we have Elegant Soul. It's for 3, but it does 190, and in a format where we lose Choice Band, that is pretty good damage. There's obviously a downside where it's going to do base 60 damage the following turn, but I don't think you're really going to follow it up. And then we have Beast Game GX, which is pretty much the main reason why anybody would want to run this. It is for a single grass energy. If you get a knockout with this, you will take an extra prize. However, if you have 7 extra, you'll be able to take 3 more prizes, and that's the goal. We're going to try and take the 4 prize knockout on something, the 5 prize knockout, whatever it may be. Maybe it's for a game. And to do so, we're going to be playing super awkward things that people are going to be like, do I deal with the Lost March or do I deal with the Buzzwole? So, of course, for Lost Marchers, we're going to be running Jump Bluff, a 4/4/4 line, because it's very important. You evolve Hop-Up into Skip Bloom, use Skip Bloom's ability, they both go into the Lost Zone, and then you search a Jump Bluff out of your deck and put it into play. It's just a great combination of cards, and it works out fairly well. Of course, we're playing Trumbeak. It's probably the most important card in Lost March. Not only is it a great way to pretty much disrupt your opponent, maybe getting rid of one of their supporters for the next turn, but it's just an easy way to put Pokemon into the Lost Zone. And though this is a weird include on this list, we're playing Emolga. This is a pretty much staple in Lost March at this point, because you put it onto the bench, you search out other Emolga, you thin your deck, you use it to use your Lost Blenders. But this is weird because we are also playing 4 copy of Green's Exploration, and it's very important that Emolga is not on the bench in the early game. So your ideal start is going to be Buzzwole in the active, you're going to be hitting, you're going to try setting up jump bluffs on the bench and using Green's Exploration to pretty much grab all your pieces and have everything you need, and then you can start putting Emolga down, because at that point you have everything in your hand and you can just search them out and you Lost Blender them. No big deal. But you don't want to lead off with this if you have to, because it's the only basic in your hand. The good thing is we are losing Guzma, so sometimes they're pretty much going to be forced to knock this thing out, and it's going to be very easy at 60 HP, so it's not the worst thing in the world, and you can definitely get around like blocking yourself. But yeah, it's it's not the end of the world if it is up there. We are playing 4 copies of Beast Ring. I don't think you need all 4. I honestly think you only need 3, but if you have prized some of them and things just don't work out, it's pretty crucial, and just having 4 means you're gonna likely have one in your hand already, and that's very important to try and power up for Beast Game. Playing 3 copies of Lost Blender. It's not the most important card in this deck, surprisingly, because we're not playing just strictly Lost March. So you're pretty much, if you're lucky, you'll be able to hit all 4, because if you have 2 Emolga in hand at one time, but you're probably only going to hit 3 Emolga usually, so it's fine just having it that way. It's also good to just maybe get rid of a Jumpluff if you really don't need it, and then you have more in the Lost Zone. 3 copy of Netball. I had 4 originally, but I think actually having a lot of other cards like a lot of Grass Energy and Beast Ring are also fairly important, so I had bumped it down to 3. It works out pretty well. It's really just here to grab a Buzzwole or a Hoppip, and if you know, maybe a Grass Energy if you need it. We also have 4 copies of Pokegear. We don't play a whole lot of supporters, but the ones we do are very important, so trying to grab one of them, especially early game, if we don't open up with one of them, we have an extra chance of opening up with this and then maybe grabbing it, so it's a very important card. Plus, turn 1 using this to grab Lily is great because then you already have discarded a card in your hand. Maybe you're able to Lost Blender and then just play Lily for a full 8, and that's really good. Playing 2 copies of Pokemon Communication. I would like more, but there's not really a lot of room here. And it's just great if Jumpluff is in your hand because you have it. You need it in your deck for Hoppip's Skiploom's ability to function properly. But it's also great with using Emolga. You can use Emolga to Nuzzle Gathering, search Emolga, and then swap it for maybe another piece that you need. We also have Life Force. This is a weird includement, I know. Especially because it's just an awkward one. But it actually helps keep Buzzwole alive for a while. It takes a hit in the early stages. You just heal it off, and then they have to hit for even more, and that's a really good thing. So it is nice, and I guess removing special conditions can be good too. It's really just here for that, but there are other things out there. You could be hit by a Dugong onto your bench, and then take 60 to a Jumpluff, and then you could just heal it off, so that way you don't have to be in danger of like a Giratina or something weird that could happen. So it is a nice little like extra thing that you can do. It just works out for Buzzwole. And it's a great counter stadium. 1 copy of Cynthia because having Jumpluffs in hand is pretty bad, and it's just there for that extra supporter because we don't play too many, so being able to maybe have one in the opening hand or draw into one is very important. We're playing 4 copy of Green's Exploration because this is really what's going to help this deck function. You're going to be able to either grab a supporter for the next turn if you need it. Again, if Jumpluff's in hand, maybe you want to try and get them into the deck with Cynthia. You can grab the Life Force if need be. You can grab a Pokegear. I don't think you would grab that. You'd probably just grab one, but definitely great for grabbing 2 Beast Rings at once and being able to just go in with the Buzzwole Pheramosa stuff. So I like that a whole lot. 4 Lily because trying to open up with this is pretty much ideal because you want to go through as many cards in your first turn as possible, setting up your bench and pretty much getting Lost Zone guys into the Lost Zone and being established on the board. So it's a really good card for that, and we're going to be discarding cards a lot. We have a lot of item cards other than this one that are easily usable and will lower the hand size, so that's always a nice thing. And we are wrapping things off with 12 Grass Energy because you pretty much need 8 on this thing to function, which leaves 4 for the deck. So 1 for a Buzzwole in the opening game to attack with, and 3 for Jumpluffs. That's the idea. You're probably going to prize some, and it's very important that you do, of course, have energy to try and do this strategy. So I don't think that this is the ideal list. This has been working out pretty well for me in my testing. There's a lot of sometimes of just kind of waiting around, but because that this thing is so bulky and does good sniping, you can start taking prizes and stuff. And again, with this, it actually helps out a whole lot. So there is some solid stuff going on here if you do need a stall and everything. But the deck's okay. I like it as it is at the moment. If anybody has any changes to this deck, that would definitely be like welcome, because I'm trying my best to make this one work. It was just a stupid idea I had, and I really fell in love with it. But other than that, yeah, the other list is a lot more straightforward. Lost March and using Buzzwole just to apply early game damage, so that way you can hit those numbers and stuff like that. So it's a weird little contrast, but yeah, this is a fun deck. I definitely would recommend trying it out. It's a lot of fun. And with that being said, if anybody wants to see any specific decks being made for the new rotation, I'm definitely open to making some more videos. And I definitely want to tackle some of the guys from the new set, like the Tyranitar tag team. That one looks a lot of fun and things like that. So if anybody wants to see anything, just let me know in the comments. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I will be back soon with more deck profiles.